All right. As anyone who's watched previous videos in this car knows, it's got a bit of a rake, a downward rake towards the nose. She's a little low, and she's a little high. This is actually a factory height here. The front's been lowered with a VBP spring. So what I've got is a Van Steel lowering spring bolt set for the rear. I'm gonna try to level this thing out just a little bit closer. So we're gonna go through that today, and then we'll look at a little before and after and see if we can make this thing just a little more aesthetically pleasing. I would raise the front up, but honestly, it's just cheaper to lower the rear. So we're gonna try that and see what we end up with. Okay, so don't try this at home, I suppose. I got the car up on the jack. There's not a lot of good jack stand locations, so I actually jacked it up. Don't do this, but I jacked it up and I put a jack stand under the spring to take the load off. See there how the bolt's got some clearance there? Jack stand is just kind of pushing up on the spring to take tension off, so I can take this bolt here, get that cotter pin out, swap the bolt. So I'm going to try that, and I've only got a couple hands here, so I'm going to try to get that loose and swap it, jack it back up, get the wheel on, do the other side. I'll show you guys when this is done. Alright, well, the Sawzall was the way, and just to let you know how trashy I am, I achieved that by sticking the 4-way on top of this to hold the bolt while sawzawing the bolt. But honestly, if I would have thought about this, I wouldn't have even fucked around with the impact. Look at this thing. I never stood a chance. So I'm going to pull this shit apart and put the new bolt in. Yep, should be good. Bolt's right here. Alright. Alright, so you do have to beat these washers and bushings off the old bolt. Now I'm going for maximum low to match the front. So the effective range of the, the nut here is the nut. So I brought it just beyond flush, as you can see. I think it'll be alright. I don't think it should drop it too much. If you compare the two bolts here, say from end to end, and this might not look even, but that the end of the bolt's actually inside here, that's about even. You've got, well, I'd say maybe 2 inches there, maybe 1.5 inches. Yeah, so that's that. I'm gonna get this side, relieve the pressure from the spring, put the wheel back on, and switch to the other side. Alright, the second side is done and ready to be jacked up, take pressure off the spring, put the wheel back on. Same story as the first side. Sawzall was just the way. It was just way faster than even thinking about dicking with this bolt. I mean, that's, pretty well. Okay, it's done. It's done. It's dramatic. I'm not like a cinematographer or anything. I'm doing some, dramatic effect here. Dirt on the arm. Okay, good. So, I'm going to try to put a side-by-side in this video. But bam, look at that. Look at that. I'd prefer it stock height if I'm honest, but this thing's leveled out perfectly. I mean, perfectly. Front and rear, perfect. I couldn't ask for more. I'd say it was probably about 1.5 inches drop, I would say. I don't know. I don't hate it. It certainly looks better than it did with the rake on it, so at least it's even now. Honestly, yeah, it doesn't look bad. So to recap, Van Steel lowering bolts, taken in 3 threads from the bottom of the nylon washer, or nut. You will have to reuse all of your existing bushings, washers, etc. with that kit, so don't damage them. But honestly, fuck the impact. Cut those with a Sawzall if you got one. My bolts were shot, and this is a fair weather 60,000 mile car. Maybe some of you were luckier, but anyhow, end result. And don't forget to torque your lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds. Just saying that. Don't do anything else I said in this video. But do torque your lug nuts to 100 foot-pounds. Yeah, I mean, I'll be curious. I'll be curious what people think. You know, I see a lot of these with the back end lowered, and it's just the back end. But there's not that many that are just full-on lowered. And to be honest with you, it works for me. Anyway, that's how you lower the back of a C4 Corvette, and that's my experience with it. Sawzall if you got one. Maybe easier with a friend. I did it alone. Took me about 2 hours, you know, leisurely on the floor, using a jack and jack stands. Not a big job, but the end result, yeah, no, it works. So for anybody wondering, that's what it does. That's what it looks like. And again, I do have a front lowering spring. So for someone who's just going to lower the rear and not lower the front, I don't know, you might look goofy. But if you've got a lowering spring in the front, yeah, no, it'll come out nice. All right, hey, thanks for watching. That's how it's done. And you know, if you enjoy the video, you enjoy the car, I guess like and subscribe. I'm approaching that milestone of 1,000 subscribers, which, I don't know, for the little effort I put in, that's pretty exciting. So if you enjoy this video and you want to see more in this car or other cars like it, you know, feel free to subscribe. All right, have fun.